Alright, here we are again, looking at trigonometry. Now, we have two questions. I'm going to go over this one first. So this is going to be the first time I'm attempting these questions, so let's go through them together. So in this question, it says find x to the nearest unit. So looking here, we're looking for x, and we have basically two triangles put together. We have triangle ABC and we have triangle BCD. Now if you look at BCD, we do not have enough information as of yet to solve for x. So we're gonna have to find something. We're gonna have to look at triangle ABC and find some more information about this triangle here. So I'm looking at ABC. And the only thing that I can think of is I'm looking here to this side right here, little a of this triangle. This is little a right here. And we can solve for little a by using cosine law. Notice how we have a side, an angle, and a side. So we can use cosine law to solve for little a, which is also a side of BCD. So I'm going to set up my cosine law equation. So a squared is going to be equal to b squared plus c squared. So 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12. Cosine of a. And angle A is 80. Alright. Now I'm going to plug this into my calculator. Alright, so 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 cosine of 80. Now this is equal to 202.32. And now we have to take the square root of a squared because we want a, not a squared. So take the square root of both sides. This and this cancel. And the square root of 202.38 is 14.22. Alright, so this is 14.22. BC, side BC or little a is 14.22. Now, looking at this, I see, so we need to find x. So we need to find, this is what we need to do, we need to find angle D, because we know this side, but we don't know the opposite angle of this. So to do that, we're going to have to take the sum of the two angles and subtract it from 180. So angle D equals 180 degrees minus the sum of 30 degrees plus 65. So 180 minus 30 and minus 65 is 85. So angle D is 85. 85 degrees. That's angle D. Now I'm looking at this. I have an angle and an opposite side, and I have an angle and an opposite side. So I can use sine law. So I'll write it up. No, I'll go down. Zoom out a little bit. Let's go down here. Alright, so 14.22 divided by the sine of angle D, which is 85, is going to be equal to x divided by the sine of 30. Now, looking at this, we have an unwanted division of sine 30 on x, so we can multiply both sides by sine 30. And that's going to cancel, that's going to cancel. And we're going to be left with 14.22 sine 30 divided by sine 85 is equal to x. So let's plug this into our calculator. 14.22 sine 30 divided by sine 85. And this is equal to, so x is equal to 7.14 units, whatever the units may be. Alright. So this is a good problem because we had to use cosine law in conjunction with sine law. We had to use both of them to solve for x. So that was the first question. Not too shabby. Now we're looking at this one. It's a word problem. So it says Maggie wants to find the height of the tree outside her house from the ground. She measures the angle of elevation to the top of the tree to be 65 degrees. She paces 3 meters away, or 3 meters farther away from the tree, and measures the angle of elevation to be 55. Determine the height of the tree. Alright. I think that looks better than me trying to draw it myself. So, let's go over this one more time. So this angle in here, it was the first angle when she walks out. And it's 65. This is the angle of elevation. 65 degrees. And this is the tree. I'll just say T for tree. Okay? Now, she paces another 3 meters. So from this point, she goes 3 meters. And she determines the angle of elevation here to be slightly smaller, and it's 55 degrees. Alright. And we're going to want to find T. We want to find the height of the tree. So looking at this, we don't have enough information yet to solve for T. So looking here at 65, we can find this angle. We can find this angle right here. It's going to be, because this would make 180. So 180 minus this 65 will give me the rest of the degrees for this angle. So 180 minus 65 is going to give me this angle right here. And that's going to be 115. This is 115 degrees. Now, we can also find this angle right here, because every triangle has 180 degrees, so we have 115 plus 155. Subtract that from 180 and we'll get this angle. So 180 minus the sum of the other two angles is going to give us this angle. And that's 10. This is 10 degrees. So this one in here is 10 degrees. Alright, now, so we have all the angles for that triangle. Now, we're going to be looking for the hypotenuse. We want to find the hypotenuse of this triangle here. So, how are we going to do that? How are we going to find the hypotenuse of this triangle? Well, let's see here. We have a side, we have opposite angle, and we have a side here, but we don't know, but we have an opposite angle. So we can use sine law to find this. Oh, okay, I guess if I move down, it's going to move with me. Alright, so I'm just going to call this x. I'm going to call this x, and we want to find x. So, x over the sine of 55 is going to be equal to 3 over the sine of 10. So we have an unwanted division by sine 55 on x. Let's multiply that out. Alright, so x is equal to 3 sine 55 divided by sine 10. Now this is going to be equal to 14.15. So x is equal to 14.15. So now that we know x, we have, well, we know this is a right angle triangle right here. So we can use our trig ratios. We could use our primary trig ratios to solve for the height of the tree. So let's see what we have. We have, if this is our reference angle, this is opposite. This is opposite. And this would be the hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse is going to be sine. So it's sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So sine theta is our reference angle, which is 65, is going to be equal to opposite. Opposite is t, and our hypotenuse is 14.15. So we're going to have to multiply both sides by 14.15 to find the height of the tree. So what does t equal? T equals 14.15 times sine 65. Alright, so the tree is 12.82 meters tall. And that's our final answer. So in this question, we had to use sine law and we had to use some trig ratios, because the only way that we knew that we could use the trig ratios because we know that this here is going to be a right angle triangle, and that's when you can use your trig ratios, is when you have a right angle triangle. When you draw it, it makes it much easier to understand. Alright? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will probably start doing more videos on functions next. If there's any more requests for trigonometry, I can definitely do some more trig questions, some more trig videos. But I'm thinking about doing more functions, maybe some grade 11, grade 12 functions. Alright, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment on what you want to see next.